And how are you feeling about yourself today? Let's think about at least one awesome part of you. That is your source. Who made you? God made you to be you, yourself. So there's something about you that is very good and beautiful. Then God said, let us make humankind in our image, according to our likeness. So God created humankind in God's image. In the image of God, he created them, male and female. God created them. God blessed them, and God said to them, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the birds of the air and over every living thing that moves upon the ground. And God saw everything that he had made, and indeed, it was very good. So that includes you. You have been made by the original and best maker of this universe. And you are loved. Again, in the Old Testament, the Hebrew Scriptures, we learn that God's whole attitude towards us is chesed, H-E-S-E-D, steadfast love, or loving kindness, or everlasting loving kindness. Most of the translations use that phrase, steadfast love, but the others that I just said, loving kindness and everlasting loving kindness, are translations of the same word. So it's fun to look through the Psalms and see how many times you can find this steadfast love word. Here's from Psalm 36, beginning in verse 5. Your steadfast love, O Lord, extends to the heavens, your faithfulness to the clouds. Your righteousness is like the mighty mountains, your judgments are like the great deep. You save humans and animals alike, O Lord. How precious is your steadfast love, O God. All people may take refuge in the shadow of your wings. Ultimately, God showed that greatest love by coming to the earth as Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that God gave his only begotten Son, so that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. So you have several reasons why you are allowed to feel good about yourself. But I know from my own experience that having a good reason for happiness or for peace is not the same as having happiness or peace. Our stresses are real. Our anxiety is real. Our loneliness and grief are real. We really do need Jesus, and we really do need each other. Now, I'm going to make one micro suggestion of something you can do to attach yourself and your actions to God's love. This is a very tiny thing, but try it. It's that time of year where a lot of people have been having record-setting heat. Here in San Diego, the word is not quite yet. The mountains have been hot, the deserts have been very hot, but San Diego in general and at the church here, it's just been nice and warm, mid-80s. But the heat is coming. It always does. So here's what you do. Next time you go shopping, buy bottled water. Put some in your fridge to cool it down. Bring it with you in the car. And a deeply kind and thoughtful person might even find some little way to put a cooling chest in your car to keep it cool throughout the day. And whenever the super hot weather comes, keep your eyes open for anyone who looks like the heat is really getting to them. It might be somebody on a corner asking for help. It might be somebody riding a bike that it looks like maybe they're riding that bike to work and they're going to be very, very hot by the time they got there. It might be somebody walking who just looks hot. Well, hand them a bottle of cool water. It's a biblical thing. Doing something specific, no matter how small it is, that's consistent with God's love for us. That brings us into that cycle of love. And at least it pushes that much in the direction of remembering peace, love, joy. In Matthew 25, the king will say to those at his right hand, "Come, you that are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. It was a hot day during the middle of the summer, and you gave me some cool water to drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was naked, and you gave me clothing. I was sick, and you took care of me. I was in prison, and you visited me." And then the righteous will answer him, "Lord, when was it that we saw you hungry and gave you food, or thirsty and gave you something to drink? And when was it that we saw you as a stranger and welcomed you, or naked and gave you clothing? And when was it that we saw you sick or in prison and visited you?" And the king will answer them, "Truly I tell you, just as you did it to one of the least of these who are members of my family, you did it to me." So while it's still in the 80s in my area, hundreds other places, get some water, keep it cool, and hand it to people who look like they need it on the street. It's amazing how much fun that little thing is. So I hope you can have a decently, fairly good day today. You are created and you are loved by God. You are invited by Jesus Christ both to accept that love and to return it. Amen. Have a good day.